Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Alyssa and today's video is Expand Those Pans, an update. So in Expand Those Pans, the project was started by Dora, who is Fuchsia Soul here on YouTube, also on Instagram. And the idea is you hit pan in some of your eyeshadows and you kind of, put them aside, move on to hitting pan in new ones, and you don't always go back and use them. So the way I'm doing it is I pick 3 eyeshadows at a time randomly, use them 10 times each and show the before and after, and then roll in new shades. So if that sounds interesting, then please keep watching. So last time, the shades that I have, I will of course put the pictures and stuff on the screen. The first shade I rolled in was from my Dollhouse eyeshadow palette. It was the 5th shade, and it was this kind of shifty, good inner corner type of shade for me. So using it 10 times wasn't hard. It actually goes with a whole bunch of looks. I feel like on my complexion, pinks almost come off neutral, or like you can tell that when it's like such a pale pink like that, that I can wear it with green looks, blue looks, pink looks, purple, like it doesn't matter. It just always can work. So yeah, that wasn't a big deal. Then for the next shade, it was from my Marvelous Mauves palette, the 3rd shade in there. And this one, the main thing that made it hard is that I'm also working on the 2nd shade in there, which they're not that different from each other. And then I had another eyeshadow that was similar I was working on in another project. And then I just wanted to use similar shades. And it just felt like I was getting a little bit worn out on these dusty purple shades, I guess. So I did finish it, but yeah, that one was a little bit more of a challenge. I think I'm going to be retiring this palette. My main goal right now is finishing the one shade in there, which by the time this video goes up, I don't know if it will be done or not. I'm getting very close. So, but that's for my deck of panning project. So if you want to see about that, then you can go check those videos out. But yeah, I think once I finish that shade, I'm just going to retire the palette because, well, one, there's only 3 eyeshadows left and it's not working maybe as well. And I feel like I have those shades in my other palettes that are better. So I'd rather get more use on eyeshadow palettes that are less than 5 years old, maybe less than 6 or 7. I don't quite know how old that palette is now, but it's old. Speaking of retiring, the greatest gift is an eyeshadow single from Sydney Grace. I've had that eyeshadow it'll be coming up on 5 years. And I ended up only using it 4 times in this project, but I also had it in my eyeshadow rotation project where I used it, with some the 4 times. So like it's been used this year at least than 8 times, maybe more. I don't know for sure. And it was 2 9,900 grams. When I stopped using it, it was 2 8,800 grams. So, pretty decent. But I've decided to retire the shade because it's just not, like I was starting to say, I don't know if it was ever that amazing. If my eyeshadow tastes have just changed, if I've gotten used to, all these like even more shiny and whatnot shades. But I realized that if I ever want that type of duochrome shift, that I have another eyeshadow that's better. So again, I talked about it when I used it in the eyeshadow rotation project because I finished in there and I'm like, well, I still have it in Expand Those Pans, but then I'm like, you know what? Why am I forcing myself to use an eyeshadow that I don't like very much? It's just fine. I don't want just fine going on my eyes. Like that's a waste of my eyeshadow time, if you will. Like I have so many pretty eyeshadows. I'd rather use the ones that are amazing and exciting. So is officially retired, is out of my collection. But it has a nice pan on it, so it's not like I didn't get a lot of uses out of it over the years, so I'm okay with that. Now I did roll in 3 new shades, so I will have that coming up on the screen. I'm trying to remember. The first eyeshadow is another good inner corner kind of pinky shade. So, you know, actually I have it on right now in my inner corners, so that, you know, gives you an idea that it works with these kinds of looks too. And this is another one I've had for a long time. It has a good pan on it, but definitely happy to get more uses out of it. Sorry, I don't know exactly where it cut me off. I know I have been talking about Opal, how I can't get it anymore, so I just want to make the most of it. All right, let's move on. All right, the next shade that I believe, by the way, that there might have been a couple shades that came up. There was another dollhouse shade, but that was one that I either worked on in Expand Those Pans or in my Time to Pan project that I do on Instagram, and I used it a bunch and the pan got expanded. Like, I just did it recently, like this year for sure. I am going to pass on that one. So the last tier is another eyeshadow single from Sydney Grace. That one is right now 2 and 9100 grams. So we'll see how it goes in 10 uses. What's weird is when I swatched it, I didn't realize how, I don't know, I thought it was more of a neutral gold shade. It looked really kind of bronzy almost on me. So I don't know, I'm going to have to like use it all over my lid and kind of see, like, I don't know why it was looking like that. And then the final shade that rolled in was from my Stone Vibes palette, and it's just a color that is my skin color basically. Like you can barely see it on my arm because it's just, you know, blends in. But that's fine. Again, this is another palette that is old. I got it at the very start or so of 2021. So I know that the shimmery eyeshadows are kind of starting to go off, like they're not as, like they're more crumbly and that kind of thing, just not as good as they were. So let's go ahead and, you know, and get lots of uses on it. So that is where we are at right now. If you want to see the update and see how these shades look in, you know, another 10 uses, then maybe you'll subscribe to my channel so you'll get notified when I do the update. Thank you so much for watching. Until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye!